So now up next we have KPV, or lysine proline valine, also known as KPV, or I think LPV sometimes. Lysine proline valine, abbreviated as KPV, is a small peptide composed of the amino acids lysine, proline, and valine. Some of these amino acids are naturally occurring in the body and can be obtained through dietary intake. For instance, lysine is an essential amino acid that must be consumed in diet, while proline and valine can be synthesized by the body and are also found in various protein-rich foods. Despite the presence of these amino acids in the body and through diet, the specific structure of the KPV peptide matters because it combines these amino acids in a sequence that confers unique biological activities. You see, when amino acids form peptides, their functions can change significantly compared to when they are present individually. In the case of KPV, this particular combination exhibits anti-inflammatory properties that aren't necessarily seen with the amino acids alone. Now, it seems like recently on the internet that KPV is gaining attention for its potential benefits for not only skin health, but also hair health, particularly in addressing conditions like hair loss and androgenetic alopecia. However, none of this information is new. In fact, I noticed a trend among some novel peptides and how some of them either have their use case patented or the peptide itself patented. I saw a similar instance with Amplifica's osteopontin injection protocol for hair growth stimulation and rejuvenation. So I decided to do some quick digging to see if the same would be true with KPV and hair loss. And it didn't matter for me which kind of hair loss, because I mostly wanted to see if KPV was even used in that domain. But to my surprise and amazement, it turns out there was a patent that involved KPV and treating androgenetic alopecia, and it was filed by none other than L'Oreal. So, let's take a look. United States patent number 6,001,812, titled, quote, Modulating Body Cranial Hair Growth with Derivatives of the C-type Melanocyte Stimulating Hormone, unquote, was granted to inventor Jan Mahe and is assigned to Société L'Oréal SA. The patent was filed on January 23, 1998, and was officially issued on December 14, 1999. This patent, which has since expired, presents a significant advancement in the field of hair growth regulation. The core innovation of this patent lies in the discovery that peptide sequence contains the lysine proline valine, also known as KPV, or their functional biological equivalents can be effectively used to stimulate or induce the growth of body and cranial hair. These peptides, derived from or mimicking the C-type melanocyte stimulating hormone, also known as CMSH, are described as potent agents in promoting hair growth and preventing hair loss. The CMSH is a neuropeptide known for its various roles, including its anti-inflammatory and pigmentation-promoting activities, and is naturally present in the human body. The patent outlines that these peptides, specifically those excluding sequences where lysine proline valine is immediately preceded by a histidine residue, can extend the anagen phase of the hair cycle. The anagen phase is the active growth phase, where the hair follicle is producing new cells, resulting in hair elongation. By prolonging this phase, the peptides effectively delay the transition to the telogen resting phase, thereby reducing the frequency of hair loss cycles and promoting a fuller head of hair. In detailing the composition and application, the patent covers a range of formulations that incorporate these peptides. These can be used in various forms, including topically applied gels, creams, and sprays, which are designed to be administered directly to the scalp or other areas of the body where hair growth is desired. It is also noted that the peptide may be of natural or synthetic origin, and their efficacy is enhanced by modifying their chemical structure to include protective groups such as acylation or acetylation at the amino terminal end or amidation at the carboxy terminal end. This would help with the peptide's integrity and dermal penetration. Now, the application of these peptides in hair growth compositions is broad. The patent mentions how KPV may be useful for treating various types of alopecia including androgenetic alopecia, which is characterized by a progressive thinning of the hair and is commonly seen in genetically predisposed individuals. The patent also suggests that these peptides could be beneficial in managing other hair disorders, including those with an inflammatory component. Inflammatory stages of alopecia are marked by elevated levels of mediators such as cytokines and prostaglandins, which the peptides can help regulate, thus mitigating hair loss and promoting regrowth. Beyond the specific KPV sequence, the patent also explores the potential of using these peptides in combination with other known hair growth agents. These include minoxidil, a well-known hair growth stimulant, and various anti-inflammatory compounds, anti-androgens, and other biologically active substances that can further enhance the hair growth promoting effects of the peptides. So this peptide, at one point in time, seemed to have some promise as both an anti-inflammatory and hair growth stimulant. I think this speaks to my earlier point about focusing on the scalp skin health rather than directly on the hair follicle. With that being said, there must be studies done that involve KPV and the treatment of dermatological conditions based in inflammation and perhaps in hair loss. My attention is exclusively focused on androgenetic alopecia. However, any dermatological condition and its improvement would be beneficial to the potential use of KPV topically on the scalp. Studies have shown that KPV can effectively reduce inflammation, which is a key factor in many skin conditions. The paper titled, quote, Transdermal Iontophoretic Delivery of Lysine Proline Valine, also known as KPV, peptide across microporated human skin, unquote, by Kasturi Pawa et al., investigates the delivery mechanisms of the KPV peptide, a tripeptide with notable anti-inflammatory properties derived from alpha-melanocyte-stimulating hormone. The study's primary focus is on enhancing the transdermal delivery of KPV through iontophoresis, microneedling, and their combination using human cadaver skin as the model. The overarching goal is to overcome the challenges of KPV's hydrophilicity and limited skin penetration for potential therapeutic applications in inflammatory skin conditions. Now, in previous sections, we talked about how some of the issues involving the use of peptides involve its molecular size as well as hydrophilic nature. Human skin is one that is made up of fat and generally limits the penetration of molecules above 500 Dalton. Approaching this Dalton size, along with not being lipophilic, makes it very unlikely that peptides may be effectively used as growth stimulants if merely applied on the scalp. Usually, injections are an alternative and cheap method to see if a peptide will have derma effects. This gives KPV and many other peptides some serious issues when it comes to penetrating the skin. So, methods of effective drug delivery must be utilized. In this study, the researchers utilized in vitro methods to evaluate various transdermal enhancement strategies. Human cadaver skin was harvested, dermatomed, and preserved before being used in vertical fronts diffusion cells to simulate transdermal delivery conditions. The KPV peptide's small molecular weight and hydrophilic nature posed significant barriers to passive diffusion across the skin. To address this, the study explored the effects of iontophoresis, microneedling, and their synergistic combination on KPV's permeation and retention in the skin. Iontophoresis involves using a small electric current to drive charged molecules through the skin. Given that KPV has a positive charge at physiological pH, the researchers employed a nodal iontophoresis to enhance its transdermal delivery. They varied the current strength, duration of current application, and KPV concentration to optimize delivery. The study found that increasing the current density up to 0.5 mA per square centimeter significantly enhanced KPV permeation through the skin. However, further increases in current did not proportionally increase permeation, suggesting a potential plateau effect due to limitations in the skin's ability to conduct higher currents without causing irritation or damage. Microneedling, on the other hand, involves creating microchannels in the skin using fine needles, which can reduce the barrier function of the stratum corneum and enhance the delivery of large and hydrophilic molecules. The researchers used a dermaroller device to create these channels, making 20 passes over the skin to ensure consistent microchannel formation. The combination of microneedling with iontophoresis was particularly effective, showing a synergistic effect in enhancing KPV permeation. The study reported that this combination increased the permeation rate by approximately 35-fold compared to microneedling alone, and significantly more than iontophoresis alone. Additionally, the researchers assessed the skin retention of KPV using confocal microscopy, which allowed them to visualize the penetration of a fluorescently labeled KPV conjugate through the skin layers. They observed that while passive diffusion resulted in negligible penetration beyond the stratum corneum, both iontophoresis and microneedling facilitated deeper penetration. The combination of these methods led to substantial KPV retention in the lower epidermal layers, demonstrating the effectiveness of the combined approach. The study's findings show that there is some potential of KPV as a topical anti-inflammatory agent, particularly when combined with advanced delivery techniques like iontophoresis and microneedling. The enhanced delivery and retention of KPV in the skin achieved through these methods could translate into improved therapeutic outcomes for treating inflammatory skin disorders without the side effects associated with traditional corticosteroid treatments. So, to conclude here, the study demonstrated that KPV could significantly diminish inflammatory responses in the human cadaver skin. Of course, we aren't dead yet, and the dead shouldn't really be worrying about skin care all too much. That's over and done with. But it is human skin nevertheless, and the researchers went through extensive measures to ensure its integrity. It may not be a perfect in vivo study, but it shows that KPV does have some promise. After all, why would L'Oreal patent it?